Hi there, this is Tracy with TotallyTraced. I am live and I am doing the Autumn Toile class tonight. So I'm hoping you can catch me live, or if not, you're watching the replay. If you do join me, I'd love for you to say hi, let me know you're here, where you're from. I am going to apologize in advance. Of course, on a crazy week, I also get sick. So I'm feeling better today, but I do have that dry hacking cough. So I'm hoping I can keep it together for our next 45 minutes together. So, but in case I can't, I do apologize in advance. I did not want to cancel because I've already moved this, and plus I'm excited to craft with you. So again, tonight it's a class, and with this class we're going to make these 5 fall inspired cards. And oh, I was like, for some reason there's only 4, but there's the 5th one. We're going to make these, and I know a ton of you have already ordered your kit, and some of you might have even received it today. But here's what your kit includes. So you're going to have this amazing ribbon. I think it's actually considered a trim. It's like a, it's pretty stiff. I don't know, I love it. You're gonna have these dots, the streak dots. I think you get 15 of them, 15 or 18. I'm not sure, I don't remember the count. And then you're gonna get 4 sheets of this designer series paper that we're using on the cards. And then you'll have your envelopes with all the supplies you need for the 5 cards. And if you haven't ordered your kit, don't worry, it's not too late. It's available all September, and you can click on the comments to see that. Good morning, Carrie. I'm glad you could make it on a Thursday. It's a little weird to be here on a Thursday, but we're gonna make it work. All right, the first card that I'm going to make is this one, and I actually think it's my favorite. So it's a very simple card. I really just had the paper do all the work, but I just love how it turned out. All right, so let's get out. I believe I am even prepared today with them in order. Shocking, I know that's not like me. Let's see, ta-da, yes I am. Oh wait, no I'm not. Or maybe I just have the wrong thing in there. So last weekend I was putting together 20 of these kits for people that had ordered, and I get them all done, and I'm down to the last one, and I thought, that's weird, I'm short the supplies for 1 card. I had to go back through every single one of them to find out where I went wrong. I did find it, and of course it was the very last one of the pack of 17 times 5 envelopes that I found it. So, but I really do try hard to make these right for you, because I know you're trusting me and spending your money with me. So I try really hard to make sure that they are correct. All right, so anyway, I've got my very vanilla card base and then pecan pie layer. And so I'm just gonna cut my designer series paper. I've got the tutorial up on my computer screen, and it's just showing me how poor my eyesight is getting. I keep saying that, but I haven't done anything about it. All right, so I am going to glue this here. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to put it through the card, and then I'm going to tie a bow. So I am, with the kit you get 3 feet of ribbon. I am keeping all 3 feet together. It's just something I do whenever I tie a bow, because I don't want to waste any of it. And if I cut, I always cut wrong. I don't know about you, but I always cut it too short, and then I can't make a bow and I have to start all over again. Or I cut it too long and I've wasted a ton. So I just like to keep it all together. This trim is really nice. It's like a It has lots of texture, which I love, and it's on the thicker side. So it's not necessarily the easiest one to work with, but the results are amazing and it holds really well. So you can see I'm like struggling with this bow a little bit. All right, so then I just want this to be a little bit bigger, so I'm just gonna work this through. We'll work this side through, and it looks like my measurement I did okay with. Okay, and I think I am happy with that, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it. I'm not gonna worry about this wrinkle because I'm gonna be covering that anyway. Whoop, and that just went to the floor. There we go. All right, and I'm gonna pop this up over it. So I'm gonna put some dimensionals in the four corners. And for all of you non-living near the equator people, I love that I'm doing this class today, because when designing this class, the temperatures outside were in the 90s, feels like temperature in the hundreds, very humid, like it did not feel like fall at all. And today in Florida, we're getting our first taste of fall, which again, you're gonna laugh at these temperatures, I get it, but we're in the low 80s, but with no humidity. So it actually feels like the low 80s. Sometimes we're in the low 80s and it feels like the 90s. So it's amazing outside, it's feeling like fall. All right, let me show you the stamp sets that I'm using for this. So I'm using Amber Autumn and branching out for this class, and then I have another class in 2 weeks that's gonna use the same stamp sets. So this is what I'm using. And I'm gonna show you what I got out of Amber Autumn. Hi, Robin. I like the spelling of your name. That's an interesting one. So I cut these leaves out of pecan pie. They're in your kit, so it's just this leaf. Just so you can see the dies, you have this one, which is a fun one to use. You've got the two large images, and then you've got two stems. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use Autumn Wishes. I'm sure there's mixed feelings about this out there, but Stampin' Up! Is phasing out all of their rubber stamps. They're going to the photo polymer, and I am on this bandwagon. I know some people may not be, and so I'm sorry if you're not. But I feel like I get such better images, and for things like this, so normally if I were doing this myself, I would stamp first and then die cut it out if it's this kind. Because I wanted you to have it in your kit, we're not doing that. And then also I tend to catch the edge a lot more on these than I ever do on the photopolymer, so we'll see how I did. Oh, all right, that's not too bad. Looks like I might have a little edge there, or maybe a piece of cat hair, but we can cover that up with a gem, so not a big deal. All right, so we're gonna pop that up there, and we're just gonna put these leaves under it. I'm gonna pop these center pieces out. This one's fighting me. There we go. All right, so let's get the first one glued down. And then I'll pop this up. Hi, Diana. Glad you could join me today. All right, and then I'm just gonna slide this one in here. Oops. got stuck to my finger there for a minute. Let's try that again. I'll have it sit for a second. Okay, so now we're going to add some bling. And I say bling, but honestly, I feel like this is a great card, a great masculine card. I think I've got like a little bit of ink there, so I'm gonna cover it up with that gem. All right, there we go. Card number 1 finished. And I'm just gonna move this down because I want it to be level. There we go. I like it better there. Okay, card number 1. Okay. Let's look at card number 2. Ah, yes, we're making a fun fold. So let me show you what it's gonna look like. And then this is that new, oh gosh, what is the name of it? There's a new specialty paper. So, you know, the foil, it's the gold, the silver, Christmas time. Sometimes they come out with a red or green, but I love this one. Very unique. All right, so again, in your kit, you have everything die cut for you. And so we're just gonna get back to the designer series paper. So we're gonna use these cute little foxes, and I believe the back of that is, yes. All right, let me get my cutter. And this is directional, so I'm paying attention to the direction that I want it to be in. And again, you have, if you have the kit, you have all the directions and all the measurements in your PDF. All right. So, oh gosh, it's not that one on the back. Let's take a look at that again. Oh, it's this one on the back. Okay, how about that? There we go. All right, so let's cut this one down. I guess I should have paid more attention. It's been a while since I've made this one. Although, again, the way these all coordinate, I'm sure all would have worked. Let's get that box back out. You're gonna want the fatter one on the bottom. So yes, I believe that's that one. All right, so that's gonna get laid just like that. And I am gonna go ahead and glue that down, and then I'll show you how I did all the embellishments. It's hard to cover up this, that paper. Again, I think this is appropriate for a masculine card, even though it's got the fun foil paper, and then it does have some gems on it. Oh geez, I keep twisting things today. There we go. Okay, so here's just a sneaky little cheat for you if you don't know this one already. So I needed this, and I punched it right out of here because, again, we're gonna layer. So you're not gonna really see that. In fact, and then when you pull it up this way, you might see it, but look, that even, it makes it, oh, here, I might have been out of camera. It still works. Okay, so just a way to save paper. Now, what's going to be different is I'm gonna put my glue here instead of here. So I'm just, that, you know, that way I don't want to glue my card shut. And then we'll put this. We're going to center that on. And again, all these die cuts I prepped for you. And I might have been cursing you out a little bit when I was cutting all these out. And actually I was cursing myself out of what was I thinking with this many die cuts on one card? But it's worth it. I mean, come on, look how good that looks. It's worth it. All right, so again, these came out of the branching out. So look, it has the labels, so that's where I got the labels. And then this I did out of the early espresso. I don't know what this is called, but I did that out of pecan pie. And then your acorns out of the foil paper. And then just to add a little color, I took this, I played with it a lot, and I'd have to look back. Let me look at the tutorial to see what color it was that I used. Because I tried a bunch of different colors. And of course, being live, I'm not going to find it quickly enough. And I believe it was the real red that I liked, but I tried Cajun Craze. I tried Cherry Cobbler. And so all I did was color each of these. And really, I should have a mat down, so let me grab that. That way I'm not coloring my table. And now that I'm using this, I think I actually used a blend because this feels a lot slower than, but again, that could just be that I'm live. Oh, Teresa says pretty die cuts. Yeah, and what I loved about this set was I thought, this is appropriate for, I can make Christmas or fall or even like some January cards, some winter cards. When I initially bought it because I wanted it for fall, and then when I got it, I thought, oh, who says this has to be fall? So you gotta love those sets that are gonna last you a while. And then of course the labels are amazing. I'm turning my fingers all red here with this. All right, so we did that. And then I'm gonna stamp my sentiment. And that again comes out of here. So we've got wishing you a day filled with many happy moments to a very special someone, sent with lots of love, happiest birthday wishes, friend, from our family to yours, hello, thinking of you, brings joy to my heart. Lots of good sentiments in here. And they're a unique size. They're a little on the smaller size. All right, and this one will be no issue to stamp because again, it's that photopolymer, which this is what all stamps will be. I don't remember the timeline. I don't know if anybody watching remembers. I want to say by April of next year, there won't be any more of the rubber. All right, so happiest birthday wishes. And now I know this is going to go here, so I'm just going to kind of play. Teresa says, inky fingers are a sign of a good card. Yeah, I feel like I'm not really working if I don't have it all over me by the ends. I didn't do my job. And so I kind of have my cheat. You'll have a cheat too to see how you want it, but I still like to lay it just to make sure. And then the best parts, I kind of want those as like a branch. Okay, and I want it to be, I'm gonna cut it about there. And then of course I have that piece for another card. All right, so let's start gluing. I feel like this one, yep, I popped up. So let's get some minis out. And that still looks too big, so I'm gonna cut this mini in half. Today at school, this is going to be a little embarrassing to admit, but we did acts of service was the theme for today. And so we talked with the kids about what kind of acts of service that they wanted to do. And we decided to make cards for seniors. And I had the kids just fold white paper and make cards. I mean, don't get me wrong, they turned out adorable. But I thought, wow, I really should be, I mean, you guys know for Mother's Day, they actually make cards. For Christmas, I have them make cards. But I just couldn't get this together in time. And, you know, it was also over 150 kids, so that would have been a lot to prep. But I did share some of my cards with them because I told them how important it is, just to, if it's handmade, how much more it means. Actually, we're going to go opposite this one. Oh, sorry. Cat just jumped in the lap. You might be getting some alchemy views. As soon as I'm done with this acorn, I'll get them down. All right, down you go. All right, now when attaching this to the card, here's what's really important. You only want to glue at the very top. And now this time it doesn't matter if I get that, but I only want the top. All right, there we go. I really think it's that. I need to, oh, look, and did I forget to put glue on him? I might have. Oh, it looks like there's a little shine to it. Maybe I just didn't hold it down long enough. I really think this is what makes the difference. I need to use more of this foil paper. All right, card number 2. Yeah, Teresa says they love cards from the heart. Anytime they receive mail, you're absolutely right. And the ones from the kids did turn out really cute, but I thought, oh, had I just given them some sort of base. All right, card number 3. We're gonna use, I was gonna say my favorite paper, but I think I've already told you what favorite paper, so I guess I've already lied. I love this paper too, this pumpkin paper. All right. So look how pretty that is. And for those of you that have known Stampin' Up! For a while, when I look at this, I see that the paper was sage something, sage shadow maybe. And when that color went away, I was so upset. That was one of my favorite all-time colors. And so this paper just reminds me of it, which might be why I like it so much. All right, again, simple layout. We're gonna make the paper do all the work. All right. And we're going to just glue this here. Again, if you want to be making these cards, in the comments section, I have the link for you to get the kit. And what you're seeing is I'm using the kit. So everything you're seeing is exactly what you receive. I'm just using my own stamps and ink and basic supplies. So like you'll need your own glue and scissors and all that, and then the stamp and inks. But all the paper is there for you, all the embellishments. All right, now before I glue this one down, I am going to go back to the Autumn, Amber Autumn, and we're going to use this one. This acorn. And when I was designing, I thought, gosh, I really wish I just had a leaf stamp. And then I thought, oh, really, I do. There's nothing saying I need to use this whole thing. So I used crumb cake. And then I just want the leaf to show up. So look, I'm not even making sure this is straight. I just want that leaf up at the top. So just like that, which look how pretty that is. I'm definitely going to be making a card with a vanilla background and just the leaves. And then on here, we're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to bring in my ugly mat again. All right, Teresa says, I stamp images and my grandkids enjoy coloring them for me. Plus oh yes. Okay, so my niece is 5 and I try and send her a kit like every other month or so. And I do the same thing. I send her like, you know, the Halloween, the spooky suite right now. She's definitely getting a kit for that because all she wants to do is, like all she has to do is color those and glue them. And she is in heaven. All right, so that one, it seemed like I stamped a little low. So this time it's gonna be a little low, but that's all right. All right, so that, and then we're gonna use the thanks stamp and stamp over it. And again, this is something I would normally do. I would do this before I die cut it, but I wanted you to have it in your kit. So it's a little scary for me when I'm using one of these rubber stamps. So I'm just gonna look and I'm gonna kind of wipe the edge. So I try not to get any edge. I am using Cajun Craze. Perfect. All right, and then just to add a little more texture, we're gonna bring back that trim. And I'm just gonna run some seal at both ends. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm gonna glue it down, but just to make sure that that trim really stays, I'm gonna put the layer of seal over it as well. And like I said, I'm gonna go much lower than my sample because I really want that leaf to show. And then we're gonna put that there with a dimensional. And let's bring in the dots. And let's see, do I want them up top this time? Yeah, let's try it up top. Give you some variety so you can decide how you want yours to look. Okay, so there's both versions of that card. Again, I think this is appropriate for a man. So if you struggle with those masculine cards, this is the kit for you, the paper for you. All right, check out this one. So this is using all the B-sides of this same paper. All right, so we got that in the kit, and then we're gonna look for these papers, which I have that. So some of these I might not even have to cut. Let's see, yep, that's one of them. And then this paper we haven't even touched. So we're gonna use that too. All right, so let me just pull up my PDF, find out what measurements I'm doing. All right, I need these two first. And by the way, for those of you that get the kit, some of you are really good about, oh, I gotta think about the direction here. Okay. I love how some of you will send me all the cards that you make with your extra supplies, like you send me pictures. So I do love that. So feel free to keep doing that. And I forgot the measurement for this. Like, some of you are super talented with how you can use your scraps. And then plus that gives me more ideas of what I can trace. Ooh, I want that dark edge. Let's go this way. All right, stay still. Okay, we'll see how I did on my cutting here. So I've got an early espresso base, and we're just gonna lay the, oh, I did a terrible job at my cutting. In fact, let's see, that means, yes, okay, so I have a typo in the tutorial. So I will fix that and get that sent back out to you for those of you that have that tutorial. So if you're following along in the replay, it should have been 3 3/4. 3 3/4. All right, now let's see how I did with the cutting. That looks much better. All right, so then we're just gonna get those laid on. In fact, I wonder if I should have done, instead of 3 3/4, 3 7/8 would be my recommendation. But if you've already cut, don't worry, I'm gonna show you. In fact, I think I am going to do a sneaky fix real quick. All right, so I'm gonna get these glued down. Ooh, not tape. I wanna be able to maneuver these because I know I won't lay them down right the first time. So I'm just gonna put them all off to the left because I cut wrong. There we go, and I'm just gonna give those a second to dry, and we'll go ahead and make our label. So I am gonna stamp before I glue this down, just so I can make sure everything's where I want it. And I love this Hello Friend font. So again, this is in the branching out. So you've got this hello, and then you've got friends. And I love how it looks in the early espresso on this card. And what do you think of the white label? Should I have gone a vanilla? I kind of like the stark contrast. But all the other cards that we make tonight are vanilla, so I wasn't sure. All right, so I'm just gonna stamp the hello at the top. And then we'll put the friend off to the side. Just like that. And then it looks like this has a little piece that needs to be popped out. Oh, and it just fell out. Perfect. And so for this, it is supposed to lay this way, but there's such a minor difference. So I actually flipped it so it can go fill in that spot there. Okay, just like that. All right, this should have had plenty of time to dry. So again, my tutorial that I have was incorrect. So I will fix that and get that out to all of you. So just as a little way to fix that, in fact, I think I want to go a little bit more than that. We'll see, I might end up destroying this card. It's already yelling at me. Yep, that time I went a little too far. It's okay, it's handmade, and now I have evidence of it. All right, so this is gonna get glued down. And we're gonna pop this one up. Just like that. And then of course we're going to embellish. And I think I'm gonna do a tiny one. I can't tell if I have a tiny on my original or not. All right, there we go. I really like this one. That B-side paper, very masculine, very unique. I love all the neutrals together with the different patterns. All right, and our last card uses that foil paper again. Oh yeah, there you can see how it's really shiny. All right. So again, this is what's going to come in your kit. It'll come just like this. So this is embossed with the, I think it's called Gathering Leaves embossing folder, which I love. And then, so what I did to get this effect is, out of the Amber Autumn, you have this die cut. So I cut a rectangle that was just a 1/4 inch bigger on each side, I believe. And then I die cut it out and I cut it in half. So this was really all one piece. So can you see that? And then I cut it in half. So this one is a little bit bigger just because of the way the leaves fall. And this one's a little bit smaller. So if you have the kit, you might have the bigger piece or you might have the smaller piece. So if you have the smaller piece, I threw in another leaf. I die cut an extra leaf for you because it just felt like the only place that it was really different was here or here. So you'll be able to put that where you want. In fact, you'll see where I put it. So that's how I got that effect. All right, so I'm going to glue the embossed paper to the early espresso. Okay, and then we're going to glue this to here. I'm just going to put some dots down here so that all of it's staying. And let's see, I think I got that spot already. Oops, that was a bit much. Okay. Oh, shake, shake. And then I'm just going to line this up with the edge. So I really like to use the glue because then I can kind of, it's still movable. All right, in fact, I might not even use that extra leaf. I don't know, we'll see. We'll get everything down where it should be. All right, now, before I glue this down though, I've got little bit of that trim left. So same as we did on another card, towards the bottom. I'm just gonna put those two edges, and then we're gonna put this down and wrap it around. And then cut off the extra. Okay, so it looks like that. And then I'm just gonna put a little bit more glue on top of it so that it'll secure to the card there too. Okay, you know I like my glue, so this is I want to make sure I get this centered. There we go. Okay, and then you have a vanilla scrap for your sentiment. And I'm gonna put wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. And this is gonna be early espresso I'm using again. So really, we used early espresso on, oh no, we did use Cajun Craze and crumb cake on one. All the other cards use early espresso. Okay. Hopefully that's straight. I've got that camera in my face. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna cut off the excess. And then that is just going to get attached there. And I truly am just giving you a scrap out of my scraps for this. So if you want to trim it down, fussy cut it, I'm just keeping mine the same size. All right, so it looks like that. And then I do have this extra leaf, but honestly, I don't feel like it needs it. I think I like it better with the shorter half. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it. All right, so that is the Autumn Toile class. I hope you enjoyed all the cards. Let me just show them to you again. And if you are interested in this kit, again, it's in the comments section. In 2 weeks, I'll be live again with another fall class because there were just too many great products. So that one, here's the cards we'll be making for that. There's a couple fun folds in there. And again, your kit looks similar. It comes with the 6 sheets of designer series paper. You'll have the Cajun Craze and gold dots, and then you'll have 3 feet of thread, and then all of your envelopes with all the supplies in it to make the 5 cards. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you next week where I am live Tuesday with 2 Minute Tuesday, just to let you know what's going on. And then Wednesday I'll be demonstrating a card, and then the following Wednesday is when you will see this class. So I will see you soon.